Hey sneaker friends, I'm back. I know, it's been a very long time since I taped, but I'm back now, and the first shoe we're going to take a look at is the Epic React 2. Now, I saw this come out a couple months ago, and I thought, oh, I wonder what awesome changes they made. Let's dive in and see. I got the Epic React 2 on Nike's website. It was $150. They had a variety of colors to pick from, and I thought this one might look good on camera. So if you look at the outsole, you're going to notice first and foremost, the outsole is identical to the Epic React 1. So you have a forefoot and a heel rubber pad. They're both about 3 millimeters thick. They're still about 70D hardness. Now, they're also clear rubber, which I would have thought that they would have changed that because clear rubber is known to be slightly slippery and definitely was on the Epic React 1. But they left it as was. The other thing to note on the outsole is that they left the Epic React foam, so the React foam, to be ground contact foam. And so that was a big complaint. People were concerned about the durability. I had no issues with them. I actually had more issues with the upper of the Epic React 1. But just to note, you have the exact same scenario in the Epic React 2 as you did in the Epic React 1. Now, if we have a look at the midsole, what's kind of interesting is I do believe it's the exact same tooling. But if you look on Nike's website, they actually offer you more information about it. So they tell you the offset is 9 millimeters. They tell you the heel height is 27 millimeters and the forefoot is 18 millimeters. Now, how do you get offset? You just subtract the forefoot from the heel, and that tells you that your heel is pitched up 9 millimeters higher than your forefoot. Now, there's a lot of theories on what offset should be and shouldn't be in running and basketball, and there's even some shoes that have 0 offset so that your heel is flat to your forefoot, so there's no height difference. But in this particular shoe, the offset is 9 millimeters. To me, that's not good or bad. I don't mind it at all. The other interesting detail that they offer on the website is they tell you what last is in the shoe. Now, if you recall, a last is the volume that's on the inside of the shoe, so it represents your foot. Now, it's a more generic shape than a foot. It doesn't really look like a foot, but it does have the general shaping. Now, if you find a shoe that has a good fit to your foot, you want to know the last so that you can buy more products that are built on that last, and generally they will fit quite well. So in this particular case, they use the MR20-KT. Now, I'm assuming that the KT stands for knit, and then the MR20 is just whatever series of lasts that they're using. But it's good to note if you really love the fit of the shoe. Now, I looked back to try and see if they put the last on the Epic React 1, and they did not. So I'm assuming it's on the same last because it looks incredibly similar, but you never know. They can make some quite small shaves here and there, right? Like if you recall from the Epic React 1, the midfoot was quite tight. They might have changed that by changing the last a little. Now, let's take a look at the upper. So overall, it pretty much looks just almost exactly the same as the Epic React 1. The first thing you're going to notice that is different though is the heel counter. If you recall in the 1, it had basically an overlay fabric that was over the top of the heel with an internal heel counter. Well, now they have an external heel counter that's on the medial and the lateral side. It's connected in the heel but does not cover the entire heel. One thing I'm hoping that this does is prevent the heel counter from being so rigid and starting to dig into your foot after a certain amount of mileage. That was an issue that I had in the 1. I'm hoping that's resolved in the 2. Otherwise, you have a full fly knit upper, which if you know fly knit, that means there's no lining in there. There is a lining material on the heel counter. You'll also notice that the swoosh has changed. Now it's a TPU swoosh that has an embroidered edge. Now, if you know anything about embroidery, it goes all the way through the knit, so you can feel it with your hand on the inside of the shoe, but I don't necessarily feel it on my foot because I have a sock on, so it doesn't really bother me, but I did notice it's different. Another thing that you're going to notice on the shoe is right near the swoosh, and it's on the medial and lateral side of both shoes, you see 2 kind of big knit holes. Those I think are pinholes. I think they're not supposed to be shown, or people didn't expect them to notice it, but they're basically pinholes to help set up the upper and construct the upper. To me, I think probably in the first shoe they were covered by the swoosh, but there's a misalignment possibly here. Other than that, I really didn't notice any differences in the upper. The lace seems the same, the overlays, even the knit. There could be slight details in the patterning of the knit that's changed, but to me it really is not noticeable. If we have a look at the weight of the shoes, and now we can't directly compare this because this is a women's size 8. I did go up a half size from the Epic React 1. It was just too tight in the midfoot. I had a women's 7.5 in the 1, and the weight of the 7.5 of the Epic React 1 was 179 grams and 180 grams. I totally expected the Epic React 2 to be lighter. Guess what? It's not. But I did go up half size, right? So the right shoe weighs 198 grams and the left shoe weighs 194. Now that's a 15 to 20 gram increase in weight. And for being a half size bigger, I do expect the weight to go up. I'm not sure if it's that much, so this is not really a great correlation. I think the point is they're about the same weight as the Epic React 1. Well, that pretty much covers it for the Epic React 2. There wasn't a lot of difference, right? I thought there would be maybe a few things, maybe lighter weight, maybe a thinner knit, but really it's almost exactly the same as the Epic React 1, even down to the sock liner and strobel. So if you love the Epic React 1, you're going to love the 2. If you didn't like the 1, you probably won't like the 2. All right, let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I hope you have an awesome day. See ya.